So no one in my family were doctors. No one was a nurse or a PA or anything like that. So I never really grew up knowing I wanted to be a doctor. You know, I wanted to be Superman. But as I grew older, I learned how very not Superman-like I really was. You know, for 6 years, I battled what's called chronic fatigue and immunodeficiency syndrome. And for those 6 years, I just got worse and worse. You know, I had tumors on my thyroid, my liver was failing. After 12 kidney stones, I just stopped counting. After every 3 words, I would have to stop and take a breath just to finish a sentence. I had horrible muscle and joint aches, and because of the liver failing, I couldn't take pain meds for that. So it was miserable. I remember trying to study for school, and I'd be sitting down reading, and I would only be 3 words away from where I started an hour ago. You know, I would sleep 14 hours a day, and I would wake up feeling like I just ran 5 marathons. It was horrible. So we later found out that the inability to concentrate was due to, you know, the spinal cord swelling because of the illness. But somehow the information would stick, and I would get A's and high B's on all my tests, and I'm not really sure how I did that, you know, by the grace of God. But I was still sick. I would still have to sleep on benches between classes just to make it through the day. And I remember sitting there thinking, you know, how am I supposed to do my passion, which was to go out into my community and go out overseas and help and do missions work and do medical missions trips. You know, how was I supposed to do that when I can't even get to class? So instead of being the one that saved everybody else and being the hero, I was the one now in need of saving. And I went from doctor to doctor, from Stanford to Michigan, everywhere in between, trying to heal myself, but nothing really helped. You know, I got out of bed for a few more hours, but, you know, and that was it. So me and my family, we sat down together with tears running down our faces, crying out to God, saying, God, please heal me. And boom, 3 days later, I kid you not, I was completely healed after 6 years. And for 4 months later, I did my first triathlon. My name is Timothy Cheeves, and I am a Tucson native. I graduated the University of Arizona summa cum laude December 2012 with a major in pre-med and a minor in pre-law.
Timothy Cheeves.
So finally healthy, I was able to just kind of dive into life. I co-founded and officered 2 clubs at the U of A, the VITA Club and the Naturopaths Without Borders Club. And this kind of gave students the ability to go all around the world and help those in need. I was also part of the U of A's triathlon team. I became a pre-health ambassador, and I was even awarded the Physiology Wildcat Award for having the persistence and courage to overcome life's challenges.
Chosen to receive this award exemplifies the original University of Arizona Wildcat mascot, who is noted to strive for victory with strength, alertness, and tenacity, the true Arizona spirit. As I said, we had many outstanding candidates for this award, and this semester's winner of the Physiology Wildcat Award is Timothy Cheeves.
Even with all that, one of the most memorable things I've done is run for this organization called My Team Triumph. And you know what they are, they allow paralytics and people that are wheelchair bound to, you know, the opportunity to run, you know, via someone else. So here I am, you know, once before not able to run myself, not able to speak a sentence without having to stop and take a breath. Now here I am running for someone else, and it was just very touching seeing, you know, the smile on a grown man's face when you know, while you're pushing him across the finish line, or hearing the sounds of a little girl, laughing and smiling as the wind tickles her, her cheek as she's running. It was just very touching, and that's exactly what I want to do in medicine too. Once sick myself and relying on the strong legs of doctors to carry me across my finish line, I wish to do the same thing for my patients. I wish to be strong when they can't and carry them across their finish line so that they, someday they may be able to do the same thing for someone else. I know I can't save the world, but I can make a difference in the lives of my patients. I've been a lifeguard, I've been a medic, I've been in search and rescue, I've been a physical therapy technician, I've seen surgery after surgery, I've seen lives lost and lives won in the ER. And I know this is what I want to do. This is what I need to do. And I know there's a shortage of doctors, and there will be even more so later. And there will be a lot of people that kind of fall through the cracks. And those are the people that I want to help. I have a patient now where she's working 2-3 jobs, just trying to make ends meet while injured, while sick, and because she tried working, she was kicked out of the system. There's no more financial help. Now what is she going to do? These are the people that I want to help. I want to set up free or close to free surgical units. I want to try going overseas and doing missions work, but I can't do that with a $200,000, $300,000 debt on my shoulders. I just can't. I cannot help people with that kind of load on my shoulders. This medical school is expensive. It's about $65,000 a year, and that's not including, toiletries, rent, food, all that stuff. And if I could work, I would, but I can't. I signed something saying in medical school I cannot work, or else they will kick me out. And that goes for any medical school. And so I need your help. I want to serve those who are injured, who are sick, who are in need. I know I can't fly, I can't run faster than a speeding bullet, but I can care for my patients with the same amount of determination and passion as Superman himself. And I never thought that anything could take my interest away from that red cape. I didn't think anything could make me hang that up. That is until I found a better uniform, a white coat. I've been accepted into medical school, but I need your help. Please help fund my education so I may use my skills to help those in need. My name is Timothy Cheeves, and I want to be a doctor.
So Timothy has overcome a devastating illness, chronic fatigue and immunodeficiency syndrome, to achieve success during his time as an undergraduate in our physiology major. This illness caused Tim immense hardship, from extreme and prolonged fatigue to kidney stones to musculoskeletal pain. Tim went from an active and vibrant person to someone his friends hardly recognized. Yet despite his own medical condition, Tim continued to be an inspiring and caring pillar of support for his friends and family, and achieved much success at the University of Arizona. Among his many activities, Tim was a research intern for Medipax at the UA Technology Park. He was a co-founder and vice president of the UA chapter of Neuropaths Without Borders, and he is co-founder and treasurer of the VITA chapter at the University of Arizona. The good news is that Tim has overcome his illness as of the end of last summer, and he is now a member of the University of Arizona Triathlon TriCats team and continues with his other university and community activities. Tim's ability to overcome significant obstacles and succeed in our major and in life is an inspiration to us all. Tim, we in the Department of Physiology are very proud and honored to be able to present you with this Wildcat Senior Award.